Hello and welcome to a Sony Vegas tutorial. Today we're going to talk about why YouTube darkens your video and how to fix it. So if YouTube is darkening your video, chances are it's because of this little annoying thing called clipping. We can fix that in Sony Vegas pretty easily. But first of all, to show you what I'm talking about, I have a little Minecraft clip of me going into a tunnel, digging a hole. It's pretty simple. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. I'm gonna talk while it plays, so it's not too big of a deal, but basically you can see how this is really dark on your screen on YouTube. This is gonna be confusing if I didn't know why this was going on, because as I watch it, it looks fine. It looks exactly like it looked when I played Minecraft. But once YouTube gets it and renders it, it's really dark. Again though, to fix this, it's a really simple fix. And so you'll see that by now it's probably so dark you can't make out pretty much anything at all that's going on. To fix this, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the video effects in Sony Vegas. We're going to scroll down until we get to levels, and we're going to go to this filter called Computer RGB to Studio RGB. So let's go ahead and stop the video here. And we're going to drag this on, and there we go. On your screen, this should all of a sudden magically look a whole lot better. In fact, it should look pretty much exactly how it looks like in game. So let's go ahead and, just to show you the difference, we'll start to play that through. Now, basically, what's going on here is that it just fixes the clipping. And what clipping means is that you have a bunch of values, or pretty much they're your brightness values, how bright or how dark a particular pixel on the screen is. And it's basically just saying, okay, well, if you're under a certain range, which in this case it's on a range from 0 to 255, and what YouTube is expecting if it's darkening your videos is to have all the values between 16 and 235. And I'll show you a graph here. Let's see, the video scopes. Basically, this allows me to show you the graph. Basically, here we go. So basically, all these values right now are between 16, which is well, more or less right there, all the way up to about 235, which is about right here. About right there. Okay, anyways, so the point is that we have all these values, and they're all in this range. This is the range that YouTube expects if it's darkening your video. And that's the only reason that all of my values are in that range right now is because of this filter. So if I uncheck it, you'll see that they go all the way back out to 0 and all the way back up to 255. Well, I don't have a lot of white, but you get the point. So what these bars represent exactly it's not really relevant, but it's kind of like the grayscale version of a pixel. So in a sense, you can imagine that if you take any pixel and you convert it to grayscale, it'll be just one color, and that color value is going to be between 0 and 255. And if you think about it like that, then you can think that each pixel is going to be plotted on this graph over here, this histogram. So, you know, if you have 300 values at this particular point right here, which is like 60-ish right there for this line, and that's saying, well, then that would be like saying this is 300. So you have 300 pixels that would map to that. That's not exactly the case, because you know there's a lot more pixels and that there's thousands in a 720p video here. But either way, that's kind of the basic concept. So, anyways, to give you a clear idea, if any value right here is underneath the 16 mark, it just gets clipped or just destroyed. So it goes to 0. So all of this range, there's a lot of data that just is going to end up looking like over here. So it's just going to look like that. It's going to come all the way down to the very bottom, be 0, it's nothing. That's what happens, and that's why it looks so dark, because all of those values where you had that 16 different colors are just deleted. And that's what happens. That's why it looks so dark. The opposite can happen as well. If you have a bunch of whites, they can all turn into just pure white if their value's over 235. But that's, you know, a less common problem. Anyway, so you click this button, works just fine. There's one thing to note, however. If you are in Vegas and you add this filter to your video, what you're going to note is that it's going to look really kind of like you've lost a lot of contrast in your video. And to simulate that effect, we're going to put the levels on twice. You can kind of see this is kind of what you're going to be seeing once you've added just one level in Vegas. Don't worry about that. If you're having the YouTube darkening effect, this is what you want to do, and you want to render it just like this. And YouTube, when it gets it, it's going to convert it back from this to what you were seeing. So basically, don't worry about that. That's intended. That's how it's supposed to be. And because of the fact that it does have that kind of a washing out effect on your video, it's probably a good idea to not apply this filter until you're about to render. So if you have any questions about this at all, if I haven't explained it properly, just ask a question in the comments and I'll try to get back to you.